Hey everybody, it's John Osborne here. Today is April 20th, 2017, and here is our FX educational outlook. We'll start out by looking at the euro pound, and you can see we've got this support that's sitting right here at 0.83614 that we're heading down to. Watch to see if we can break through there or bounce. We've also got this what we call a bear flag, which is set up at the 0.83370 as a potential entry, which is just a little bit further down. You could watch for the break of either of these two lines. This one would be more aggressive, and this would be a little bit safer. And we can watch to see if this can run down lower. Okay, this is taking advantage of the bearishness in the daily and the weekly as we come out of the pennant that we've been watching for quite a while now. In the euro yen, you can see that we've broken down out of its pennant, came down and moved back up to retest it. So that's what we're moving right back up, getting up near to do a retest of that broken trend line to see what happens. We may just break right through it and continue back up, but what we're probably going to see is a touch of that line and then a resumption back down again with another opportunity for a short entry. With the euro US dollar, you can see that I've been watching this weekly pennant. It's here, and once again we are testing the top of the pennant. So you can see that we are moving up a little bit more. I'm going to watch to see if we can break above that. Right now the high of this bar is at 1.07768. If we can get above that, then we have a potential for moving up towards this previous pivot, which is up at a high of 1.09057. For the pound Swissy, we just broke out above this trend line that we have here, and this is what we call a mini trend line following a move up that you can see here on the daily. We also have another one of these signals where we can take an entry above the high of 1.28224, but we've already gone up and broken this trend line, so it's a good start. Our first resistance that we're going to be watching would be this trend line right here, and that's the same point as this break point here, interestingly enough, at 1.28224. So watch for that as a potential long entry point. For the pound US dollar, you can see that we ran up outside of its weekly pennant, broke above both previous pivots, and we're now heading up even higher, and we're taking a little breather here. This gives us an opportunity for an entry, and that would be above the high of 1.28595. Okay, so watch for that entry. And finally, we saw this one yesterday inside the pennant that we had on the 120-minute chart here. Sure enough, between 10:30 and 11 Eastern time today, we broke out through that and made a move higher. So watch for this one to go higher. Our next resistance, we already crossed through this resistance. We just barely poked through it. So we already hit a couple of targets that we had here, 2 or 3 on the way up. So our next resistance on the 120-minute anyways would be right up at about 14.13643. If we find that on the other charts that we have here, we can see that same pivot right up here, and then we can go on up to even higher. The problem is we are looking a little bit weak on the weekly, but our daily is coming around to be a little bit more bullish. So I don't know how much follow through we're going to get here. I was hoping that we'd break down through the other side of this to align more with the weekly and the daily. Well, let's see what happens, see if we come back to retest or just keep running forward.